It gets draining having to put it back down once it fails. Top left-hand corner, the blue Protoss player. We are going to start off with Dragon Kaiser's herO. Taking on the bottom right, red Terran player from Team NV. It is herO. Game one of this best of three, then we're finally back into the action, and herO and herO is a hell of a matchup. Currently in the group, herO is now 5-0. herO is 2-2, so an important one for herO as we get this underway. Again, we've got still a bunch of matches to happen, so this match followed by, I believe, 4 more best of threes afterwards, all coming up. And yeah, fun day of the WardiTV Korean Royale. Tomorrow we've got Group A coming back. On Tuesday, we have the final day of group stages altogether. And then next weekend, so this time next weekend, we'll be on day 1 of the playoffs already. This $10,000 event coming to a close. And of course, guys, I've not mentioned it yet. This is probably something I should have done during the downtime. But the WardiTV Korean Royale is supported. Well, this first season is fully funded by myself as a way to help out the Korean scene. But we're also using this first season as a way to crowdfund for future seasons. So if you'd like to help out with that, you can !Korea in the chat and find the link through to the Indiegogo page. The Indiegogo page will let you find out a little bit more and everything, etc. And you will be able to see all of that sort of stuff. And basically, if you'd like to support it, you can. Season 2 is now guaranteed at $10,000. I was doing the math a little bit earlier on for Season 3. We currently are about $4,000 to $5,000-ish into funding Season 3. So I think what we're going to do is we will have a Season 3. Absolutely, and it's just a question of how much money there will be involved on Season 3. If you can make it $10,000 again, then brilliant, but that really just depends on the crowdfunding. So, if the crowdfunding goes well, then brilliant. If the crowdfunding does not go so well, then not so brilliant. Wouldn't there be a new campaign for Season 3? No. It's not my goal to crowdfund all year long. That's not something I want to do. Because it's kind of just draining, you know? Like, keeping up to date with updates and rewards and stuff like that. I very much so want this to be this is our crowdfunding attempt for the year, pretty much. And once this crowdfunding is done, that's it. We're not going to crowdfund anything else this year, pretty much. So, yeah, there will not be a Season 3 crowdfunder. You know, if people want to donate during Season 2 towards Season 3, then sure, that's fine. But there's not going to be, like, specifically a crowdfunding page again and all of that kind of stuff, you know? So, that part will not come around. So, did you see Blink coming up? We do see our Warp Gate coming through. And that Blink already starting up on the Twilight Council. The Stimpak on the way. The few additional Marines are coming out. And the Tech Lab building from herO as well. Combat Shield's already starting, so a few Marines, Stimpak, Combat Shield all being brought out. The Blink is on the way in, the Warp Gate's about to finish, and the Sentry is going to be on its way through too. With a Robotics Facility also being added on in here. Well, with plenty of bio units, herO will set up into a little bit of an aggressive game. Obviously, 3 racks has some pretty solid timers you can utilize. herO, when he has stumbled lately, has been against the Terran players, so we'll see if that's something of a factor, perhaps, as we see the couple of Stalkers pinging away, a couple of Marines taking some damage. Sorry, Ancient Casual, I did read your question, I just got distracted with other things and didn't reply. Will I use the same tournament format for Season 2 or switch it up? I'm personally leaning towards using the same format because it kind of works for the size of event it is. I'd be open to switching it up if anyone has any cool ideas, but I think I think this format works very well for what it is and giving players a good amount of matches while also not having to be too committed every single day, etc., etc. So I'm kind of leaning towards using the same format, and then it's also kind of, you know, got that continuity as well because it's got the same tournament name, just Season 1, 2, 3. So yeah, maybe a different playoffs. What would you change in the playoffs though? Because I actually personally feel like this playoff system is the best playoff system based on the main you know, group stage tournament. I feel like if I changed the playoff system, it'd be because I changed the rest of it as well. Season 2 happens under hashtag Roddy rules. Nice. Observer moves into the main base. And just going to see the few stalkers kind of moving around. But yeah, no, I really like this format. It's also like, it takes like a little bit of setting up, but once it's set up and the players have their schedules, it's super easy on my end too. Like, the players know when to show up. If there is like a problem where like a player's like, crap, hey, I can't play this day, all they have to do is contact 2 players and play 2 best-of-3s. And the likelihood is that those 2 matches will just be the replay matches, and we still get the same amount of live games as well, you know? So it's very easy to admin on my side as well. So yeah, I think the format's good, personally. But obviously Season 2 is fully crowdfunded, and I will be asking the crowdfunders if they have any preferences on a different format and stuff like that. But generally, I don't really see any strong arguments to change it, honestly. I think Jonathan Ward is the best tournament organizer. Hey. Weird to read my real name. Literally no one calls him Jonathan. Oh no. You are stuck in the corner. He's gonna... Oh, this is bad, man. He's gonna... I mean, he kills a sentry, which is a decent start. Now the Zealot's get in front, and... yeah, he's just... This is just a disaster. However... not a disaster. Run straight into the natural. Kill the pylon. Somehow those 2 stalkers still warp in, connected from another pylon to the left side, but the robo facility will go down. Okay, well, disaster on one corner and success in another side, as we do potentially go after some of the probes here. Was this enough damage? I mean, you kill off the robo facility, so you can stop further colossi, so that enables you to do more damage later, most likely. You force all the probes from the natural to pull away, and we kill 8 of them. Resources lost is a little bit favorable to herO. Units lost, obviously, you can see, is a lot of Marines. So, I would say that... I kind of like it for Q, because yes, he lost more resources. However, A, look at the worker count. He's on a huge worker lead. And B, he stopped the Colossus production, so he doesn't have to deal with Colossus. So losing his army isn't as scary as usual, because he doesn't have to try and overwhelm 2 Colossi. There's only 1 Colossus to worry about. Stalkers come in, command center is under heavy fire. We might kill the 3rd, which would, of course, be great. As Kura kind of stopped moving it backwards, he can still save this, as herO kind of gave up on it. He wants to fight this army. He knows he needs to fight this. This isn't like a kill the 3rd and I'm okay game. This is a win the game right here, otherwise I'm not going to be okay game. And I think herO is doing the right thing, kind of trying to chase the army down instead of just going for the 3rd CC. You could argue, again, the 3rd CC would have been nice, and would have slowed Kura down a lot, but... like, right now, the fact that this game hasn't ended, I'm very worried for herO. I feel like this is really not going to go his way. Yeah. And maybe, I mean, arguably that's a misread from herO as well, because maybe you could also look at this and kind of see/say that actually this is... maybe if he just killed the CC, it would have actually been playable. It's hard to say, because obviously if he hadn't focused so much on the army, it's possible that Kura just has more army coming through, and if Kura has more army coming through, then you might just overwhelm and counterattack and win as well. So there's a lot of moving parts. I think overall, maybe looking at it, back at it now, I think maybe we finish the CC off. But like I say, I really don't mind Kura's position at the moment. Here, does have a Nexus up on the 3rd base, of course, as that is now saturating, getting the probe count up so that it can stay in play. A couple of those Zealots coming around, getting a couple slices out and about. See our Stalker still collecting in the upper left-hand side for a little bit. Ghost Academy is going to be finishing soon as well. Kua getting that completed, as a Ghost Academy will finish in a main. Giving him access to, well, the EMPs are obviously always going to be good, effective, and very powerful, so expecting those to have an impact in the upcoming battles. You see these couple Zealots here going down. Just going to go jumping towards this army. Kura is just ready to fight, and this Bioforce is just going to go chasing. And this was kind of what I'm thinking of, because if you kill off that 3rd base, yes, Kura doesn't have economy, but this economy that he's got currently hasn't really boosted too much of his production. So I feel like herO would have potentially just gone across the map with a few more units and just overwhelmed herO. That's why I'm kind of question marking. I know it looks like it's so easy just to kill that third, and surely that's got to be super good for you, and I do not disagree. I don't know. Just like I say, it's an interesting scenario. We'd love to see it play out the other way. See if herO just taps the third CC down and then continues how well he does against the current army and so on. Disruptor shot is herO's out in the middle of the map. Being out here is obviously a brave move, but can obviously definitely benefit you if you can keep Kua back and stop Kua from taking some of the fights you might feel you need. That can be very good for you. Extra Ghost on the way through. A couple of additional Vikings are producing, and we'll have the bottom left base of herO the 4th set up. There is a Widowmine drop trying to make its way around the left side. There's this dead, more or less, medevac from the top left as well. It's not dead, but it's pretty much dead. There's not much it's doing. It will try and escape away at some point. So Widowmine goes off. There's actually Disruptors flying over here, so herO again trying to get a catch on Kua's army. He ate a big EMP on the Stalkers, so they're pretty vulnerable. Another Disruptor from afar to keep the bio from attacking through, but Kua has the position to run down the bottom left and hit this base. Immediate EMP takes the battery out of the question. Hallucinator Colossus, which actually takes the Viking shot, so Hallucination works to absorb some damage at least. Viking's going to get rid of one Colossus. The other Colossus is taking quite a lot of damage. The Bio's stimming out over to the right side. The Colossus is going to go down. Bio's still kiting away. herO obviously happy to give chase. Disruptor's trying to find something, but they're too far back to really connect into the Bio. We have enough bio to keep collapse on this now. We kind of need the Disruptors to really buy some more time. We get a single Marauder out of those two Disruptor shots. Now you keep on chasing as Kua. Stalkers will stand in the way, buying time for the Disruptors to get their cooldowns back. Kua will busy himself continuing to fight Stalkers, but I think for the moment this is going to be done. I think Kua has to back it up, and he'll lose a couple more units at the tail end because he's being that aggressive. He will be chased down. The Blink, of course, a fantastic tool to chase down and to find further value in this scenario. Even getting some medevacs, a Viking might be useful if you ever want to rebuild Colossi as herO. One more Disruptor shot swings out over to the right side, and this army back into the middle once again, rotating around, trying to see what is going to happen. Two SCVs get taken down. Our depot, excuse me, being picked away at. We do have the army of herO back up the right-hand side into the natural expansion and moving in toward the main base as well. So it's the frontier again picked away at. Disruptor shot, bang for the bio. It's actually a really nice shot as we do lose the bottom left base though. The SCVs have just straight up pulled across the map as we go full base trade mode. Between these two players, first Disruptor is going to go down as the SCVs try to help. A Marauder or two getting picked off there. The SCVs surrounded the Disruptor. SCVs are Disruptor Slayers over in the main base. Yeah, Kua's overall supply isn't looking so hot as he chases through. This is going to be the deal breaker, right? The fact there's already some army here from here. He's actually going to recall some extra units home as well, so he's going to make it so that he has as much as possible to hold on the natural. And I think that's going to be enough for herO. As Kua, base trade was not the way for him to play this game out, because he was honestly in a great spot until this base trade, and I mean, he was, I guess, maybe getting a bit over-involved in some fights. That is going to be it. GG's, and herO takes game one of the best of 3. herO up 1-0. Dive on into the bottom left side. Our blue Terran player down a game. It is Kua. And in the top right, from Dragon Kaisi, make your noise for herO. Map 2 of this best of 3. herO obviously getting off to a strong start. It was definitely shaky though, like it wasn't super convincing from him straight away, and definitely had to do a little bit of recovering to be eligible at all in this. Your way down over to the corner, probe into the natural. Cracks, gas, all on the way up. A CV coming through. And yeah, getting all of this underway. The gateway coming up. The probe is going to be finishing in a couple of moments as well. herO heading down to the bottom side of the map with the probe, as we see the cybernetics core is also producing. So just scouting, figuring out what's going on. I see the SCV is going to go out to do exactly the same. Just figure out what is happening in these early stages. Both players looking to get the confirmation of what is up. CC has to place a little bit out of position, not really a major deal. Obviously just placing off over to the side there slightly. And the SCV going to go nibbling the probes, try and eat on through those. Command center coming through. The Nexus is halfway done as well. 22 probes, 20 SCVs. A Twilight Council will come up at the front, so get that established. The Nexus coming through, Stalker and the Warp Gate all producing, the bunker coming up. The factory, it's also just about to finish here, as we'll have our command center finishing in a few moments' time. So all of this on the way through for the moment. Nothing too surprising just yet. Blink is starting, a couple of Widow Mines are on the way through. Starport is going to be finishing from Kira as well. And with all of that setting up, we are seeing him have the chance to set up his initial Widow Mine drop. Extra gate on the way from herO as we begin to wonder what he will do with this Twilight. There's a Robo. It looks like he is in position to take a third though, so maybe just 2 gates take a third. Some light Stalker pressure to begin with. We'll see how he handles the Widow Mine drop once it comes across the map, because obviously it feels like a lot of his Stalkers are out on the map, so we'll not have too much at home to play defense with initially. Like I say, we'll see how that kind of pans out here over the next little while. Medevac with 4 mines. Moving across the map, so coming up the right-hand side and getting set to roll. We do have the Blink already on the way out as well here, so getting that Blink up and running, the Prism on the way. And obviously, like I say, it is our third base, so let's see what our Widow Mine drop does as we move straight on into this main. In we go. Mine 1, Mine 2, Mine 3, Mine 4. 1, 2, 3 probes. We actually left one Widow Mine. We're actually going to unburrow and reburrow it. You got a Stalker, I mean, Blink's already, right? So we can just blink to the other side. Maybe a minor amount of time that you continue to force the probes to be away from mining is more or less what you gain from that. And to be fair, that's usually what you're aiming to gain from that as well, so. This will move onto the map. As the factory lifts off, and we do have the reactor going to come down over on the side. Again, another scan into the natural, and the medevac of 2 mines and turn into the main base. So in we go. Actually going to get this Widow Mine to... How did it not fire? Did it retarget? I felt like that Widow Mine was absolutely due to fire. It was burrowed for an eternity. Incredible. Stalkers unload into the back. We do have the siege tank already firing up a storm on those, so the defense is pretty good. herO's going to be trying to find damage, but Q is going to minimize what happens. Obviously, it's exactly what you need to do as Q. You can't just let this Prism come through and constantly find you know, a couple SCVs there and a couple SCVs here, because it really does add up. Like, it really does go a long way, and it really is kind of negative for you if you let that continue to happen throughout the game. So, kind of thing that you do need to be on top of, and good to see that Kyo so far has been exactly on top of it. Stem combat +1, all of that coming through. The Prism escapes out over the left-hand side. We'll just be seeing the charge still producing as about a finish, in fact, so get that charge completed. And, well, herO, we'll see if he wants to go on the map at all. Obviously, just still only the real 4 Stalkers on the map at the moment, but a position where, yeah, I mean, I guess only Stalkers could really go on the map. It's kind of cute that it's about ready to attack. Combat shields on +1 finishing soon. His army supply reflecting the potential to attack as well. Definitely feels like if anyone's going to get aggressive, it kind of should be Kua. As yo, Neat Pete 8, thank you so much for the 16 total gifted subs. I don't know why I'm reading that part of it out, but just thank you so much for the gifted sub. My brain is not doing well today, guys. My brain is like, yo, we did not recover off yesterday still. Give us a break. Give it a sub from Nate Pete. Goes out to Jogi Bear. Thank you so much for the generosity, buddy. I really appreciate it. And welcome, Jogi. As our Bioforce pushes across, like I say, an army supply lead that's looking pretty substantial here. Nice feedback. That's what you want to do with the High Templar. Feed back the Raven, take the utility away from the Terran, and then, boom, get the Archon going. But the Widow Mines actually got burrowed and blew up the Archon as it morphed, so I guess that was kind of feedback on the Raven for the cost of 2 High Templars, and it wasn't so pretty. Zealots charging through, naturally clumping as he starts to surround the tank, allowing the Widow Mines to do some further damage, and Kua having the +1 attack upgrade here as well, allowing him to keep on trading very well. So battery's about to fade away. Obviously, Zealots are going to be continuing to come through. We need the Widow Mines. The splash damage they provide to the Zealots really just helps you chew through this army so much sooner. Storm building from herO, who believes he's going to see the other side of this fight, and if he does, wants to be able to storm it up after just having access to some actual splash damage is something he doesn't have at the moment. Problem is, it means that you got to start saving some energy on these High Templar, and right now we do not have any time to do that, so now I'm off in an Archon again. He is still up about 30 army supply at the moment. Widow Mine shot and a medevac goes down. Extra Zealots warp in from the 3rd base. Widow Mine going to blow up the sentries. That's a triple kill for the Widow Mine on the sentry count. 1-1 now done as well. Widow Mine trails into the Zealots. That Archon is low. Should go down. Last shot gets it. And the Stalkers have to go retreating again. Just can't quite. I mean, herO still has these Immortals. And these Immortals are actually pretty amazing because I think they are the one thing that's really still holding this army somewhat together. And the fact that 3 of them can really chunk through a Marauder line if the Marauders do stim in to try and get aggressive as well. And now the counterattack. Finally, herO gets something going on the other side. This will mean he's missing some units on the defense, but it looks as though Kua's going to pull back home. So it doesn't matter if he's missing those units defensively, because he's got Kua to turn around. He's got Kua to stop thinking about anything, you know, about purely just attacking, which has been what this has been up until now. Nice. Two Vikings, 2 Ghosts all coming out here, as we do have the Nexus building on the 4th base. And a few more Ghosts continuing out. Marines on the way out as well, another Viking on the way. And a missile turret. It's just going to continue on in. Widow Mines get blown up. The Widow Mine drops down. A couple Storms are going to land. SCV's taking a beating. 4 workers going down already. Going to be seeing the 1-1 upgrade still coming through. A couple of Vikings come across to the left-hand side as well. Gets rid of the Prism. That's really nice. Slows down herO, slows down his aggression. Slows down this game a whole bunch in general, right? As the probes transfer between bases, and they're going to go on the offense again. Kua still has a huge amount of army supply here. Still has that heavily in his favor at the moment. So a lot of bio, ghosts, and medevacs all coming across the map. See what they can do as we head on up into natural expansion. And, well, an EMP onto a couple of immortals to begin with. Archon gonna go down. Storms all over this army. Kind of hurting, kind of sucking. Gonna turn around once again here as our bio continues through. High Templar, immortals all in trouble there as continue to turn back around to the left, and again just seeing the 1-1 upgrades coming through, the 2 High Templar on the way, and the Prism coming up as well. Pressing forwards, just going to be seeing the Stalkers, the Archons all setting up, a few Zealots will begin to charge on forward, and we will have this army just kiting backward. A lot of Zealots starting to take a lot of damage. Then we got the 2-2 upgrades, the Ghosts still coming through. Here's supply, you know, had a lot of army supply when you first moved across again here, but it's now really settling down to just be, it's still Kira's favorite, but not quite as much as it once was. It's starting to look very different there, in fact, as a little bit of bio coming forward and just going to chase away a couple of units. This would have mind about to come back online. Let's just get a shot straight on. What do you want to hit? The Immortals? It's 2 barriers off the Immortals, which is genuinely really nice. Lone Widow Mine. Solid stuff. At the moment, upgrades are even, by the way, but it will be Q that pings back into the upgrade lead with 2-2 over halfway done. At some point, that'll be worth noting as well, as herO stops attacking that mine for a second. There we go, friendly fires, and gets it this time. Army comes around the left, see the medevacs, the bio coming back around. See what they can do with the Prism. Having a couple High Templars in, obviously going to go Storm hunting. One Storm to initiate this fight could change absolutely everything as we knock down 1 and 2 High Templar. Both go down in an immediate effect. Working our way to this right-hand side. The 2-2 upgrades start from herO with the second Robo facility and now a Robo Bay on the way up. Will EMP landing on the Prism, Immortal, and the Archon. Another Storm towards the medevacs. So you have to keep splitting back. Those odds going down. The Archon going down. It's going to be... Ooh, nearly another Archon too. I mean, you can just see that Kira is able to, once those shields are gone, really work his way through all of the tech units here. That's the problem. That's why the Robo Bay would be big, to actually give us some splash damage that isn't as heavily affected by the EMPs. Can we actually get these Storms in play? Finally, the Prism gets to unload. Finally, the High Templar takes to the stage, and, well, Bioforce continues to kite back up the right. Nice last Storm. Oh, there's actually one more as well. Well, we are pushed back, but I still feel as though this is a case of just waiting for Kira to have a little bit more. That Widow Mine goes down, detection nearby with the Observer provided. Allows us to take that down easily. Now herO, a few more warp ins, and the supplies actually start to look a lot more even again as we begin to come further down to the bottom of the map. Focus blink back, the bio pushing through the center. 2 Colossi, Extended Thermal Lens, 2-2 upgrades, all still producing. Still up that little bit of army supply here, still trying to make something with all of that for the moment. I mean, Colossi to me could make a big difference in this game, but they're not ready yet. The first one's out, but there's no Extended Thermal Lance. We need a little while longer to get those Colossi up, and that will force Kira to most likely start building some Vikings, which, again, at this stage, kind of feels like somewhat of a necessity. Zealots pulling away, Immortals and Stalkers continue to press through. A couple of Widow Mines going down. A lot of Zealots taking damage. The Bioforce having to pull back here. EMPs all across those Archons. A lot of damage being done as these Archons just keep on dropping, and we are going to be seeing this Bioforce continue to stem in. Well, the Colossi really are just going untouched, and they are going to be MVPs of this fight. They are going to be huge in comparison to absolutely everything else, and suddenly Kira is on the run, and herO now finishes up 2-2, so now it's an equal upgrade fight that's coming up as well. If Kira couldn't win the last one, what's going to let him win this one? Probably not very much. As the Stalkers get rid of the medevac, the army goes to the left, and that is a major lag spike. Is that me? Is that someone else? Ooh. Oh, looks like we resume. The player's not going to question it, and for now we're okay. There's a couple more orders come through here. We'll continue to attack the ghosts. The bio come in. Looks like Horus is going to take responsibility and tap out of this just to save any complications from further lags. If he does think it was him, his ping rising up. Colossi going through that orbital, taking quite a few shots, and herO wants to just break on in. So forward we go. The Zealot's going to start charging. Well, I say start charging. They're going to hold position, actually. It's the Colossi, man. There's really been nothing to deal with them. We're going to kill one of the Colossus now. Going for another. The Disruptor got to land here. And herO shows us why he's just so freaking good. Coming out of a game that really didn't look too pretty for him for a lot.